Hey everyone, that's Representative Boyd, Shepard Boyd for my judges. You'll probably have to scroll a little bit to find my ballot. And then just a round of thumbs up, and I'd love to get this round started for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, and are we all good there? Perfect. 1,000 Yemeni civilians, representatives. The footsteps of our foreign policy should never be stained red with the blood of innocents. Pass my policy. Now, I think that introduction did a pretty good job of contextualizing what our current issues look like, but I'd like to take it one step further and prove to you why when we sell arms to the UAE, we only directly increase anti-American sentiment. Look to a Human Rights Watch report in 2021, which found unfavorable views of the U.S. in the Middle East rose largely after continued arms sales to the UAE, especially among populations in Yemen and Iraq, where the direct consequences of our weaponry were the lost lives of loved ones and family members. Growing U.S. resentment is directly fueled by the same exact fuel we give to power their missiles and their tanks. Our funding is fulfilling military budgets that just kill more innocent civilians. But I think it's also important to remember that our power as a country doesn't purely rely on our military sales. It's also democratic, and it's status quo. When we pursue war funding instead of peace, we lose any chance of diplomacy. A Congressional Research Service report found in 2024 that one of the strongest predictors of insurgent recruitment was when our aid was used by countries to oppress citizens. Too often, we conflate the ideas of pursuing democracy and pursuing peace. Democracy can never exist if we don't achieve peace first. And right now, our sales are just going to the instigators in these regions. So, how does my policy address such a multifaceted issue? One simple answer. We stop selling them the weapons. Per Section 1 and 2, we suspend and prohibit all military and commercial sales and transfers of arms and defense services to the UAE. That directly increases regional stability because, as the Quincy Institute reports in 2022, currently in the Middle East, almost all of the conflicts are supported by our funding, especially with the UAE. But I'm sure the negation will get up here and worry about a loss of influence if we remove our arms sales. I want to tell you from the top of the debate, it's the exact opposite. Because, as the Washington Post explains on September 4th of 2024, under the Biden administration, we largely restricted our arms sales to Saudi Arabia because of human rights abuses. And what happened? They came back to the negotiating table and stopped violating human rights. We can do the exact same process under my policy. The Yemeni civilians didn't deserve that civil war. They deserve our regulation of our sales. Pass.
Speech, 3 minutes, 9 seconds. Questioners rise at this time. All questioners rise. Adams unopposed.
Hey, Representative, could you tell me more about when we paused arms sales to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, it occurred in 2021, and we decided that we'd be willing to take away, I think it was like $2 billion worth of sales because they were violating human rights. They then came back to the negotiating table and fixed a lot of the issues that they'd had.
Was that all weapons or just offensive weapons?
It was mainly offensive weapons.
Right, we left all of our defensive weapon sales intact. So how would this policy not push the United Arab Emirates away when it includes a far more punitive policy?
So I think you're arguing right now they're going to transfer to China or Russia, right? Something like that?
Not necessarily.
Push them away in what sense then?
Push them away in the sense of a diplomatic negotiation standpoint with Saudi Arabia and the U.S. and Israel and our other allies.
No, I don't believe that's true. Hey.
Good morning. When we just passed a ceasefire and an MOU earlier this week, why should we move any more pieces on the board in the Middle East before we wait until for this to happen?
Yeah, we've passed ceasefires consistently in the past, and they always fail. In 2022 in Yemen, they reached a ceasefire.
If this is the only chance that we see peace and it's still really fragile and tense, then why make it worse by doing this?
I'd argue that we're not making it worse. We're not funding them and giving them weapons that they've consistently used to abuse human rights.
They were getting bombed for the past couple of months.
So let's stop that.
No, you're not.
Middle.
If you really want the country to change, why would you not make the weapons conditional rather than just doing a blanket ban?
I'd argue that today's legislation is kind of conditional. The problem with past conditional versions of things like this legislation,
Like the Saudi Arabia deal?
no, it's that they were temporary and they weren't actual pieces of policy that promoted change. Today's
Sorry,
policy.
so then why don't you pass a policy that is conditional and not
That's
temporary?
what I was just telling you, is then presidents like to just go back on that and say, well, it's okay, we'll continue to sell you arms. By banning it
I'm
entirely,
confused.
we
We
ensure
passed
that
the
they
same
have.
policy for Saudi Arabia.
If you let me finish answering your question, by banning them entirely, we force them to make that change
Lieber's
before they can come back.
Hey, is there current ongoing conflict in the Middle East?
Yes, of course.
Right, not even a ceasefire, current ongoing conflict. Is our base in the UAE like principally crucial to our aid and support?
I mean, I think it depends on your view on that. Like, we've also instigated a lot of the conflict in the region, and then we come in and say, hey,
Sure.
we're going to save all of you with even more military funding. It never
but
works.
Now that the conflict is already ongoing, doesn't pulling out harm our current situation?
I'd say no. They still have weaponry. I just don't think we should continue to fuel it when they're using it against innocent
How's
civilians.
the ceasefire between Israel, Iran, and Lebanon going at the moment?
Well, we're
Both
not
speakers
restricting
may
for
be
them.
seated. Negative speakers rise at this time. Between Lieberzon and Adams, I will go to Representative Lieberzon.